All right, looks like it is 1 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I will share my screen. There we are. All right, so thank you all for joining today's student training session. My name is Erin, and over the next 20 or so minutes, I'm going to be covering everything from how to get technical support from Hawks to how to access your Hawks materials, as well as the basics of navigating within the platform and completing your assignments. So I'm going to be reserving some time at the end to go through any questions that you might have. So please feel free to chat those into the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen as they come up. So now let's go ahead and get started. So we'll start right here on your student dashboard. This is where you're going to see each one of the courses that you're enrolled in. Now, if your instructor has linked your Hawks section with your LMS, like Canvas or Blackboard, you should access Hawks by clicking on the single sign-on link in your LMS. If not, you're going to go to learn.hawkslearning.com to access this page. So here on your dashboard, you'll see it's pretty simple and intuitive. It's easy to navigate. All of your courses are going to be listed here under My Courses. And for each course, you'll see right here on the dashboard a mini to-do list where you can go ahead and click on any assignment to get started working on it. But before we jump into a lesson, I do want to show you a couple features on your dashboard up here in the toolbar at the top of the page. So grades is where you're going to find your up-to-date Hawks grades. Now, I also want to note that if your instructor is choosing to link Hawks with your LMS, you might be able to see your Hawks grades through your LMS as well, but your Hawks grades will always be here. eBooks is where you can access the online version of your textbook. It does come free with the software. Now, discussions is where you're going to find the discussion board if your instructor is choosing to host discussions online, as well as the live chat feature where your instructor might host virtual office hours. And then over here, the bell icon, this is our notification system. It's going to notify you of high priority assignments that are due soon. The envelope right next to it is our internal messaging system. So this is where you will receive messages from your instructors, as well as assignment reminders from your instructor about upcoming lessons or web tests in Hawks. And then finally, under your name drop-down menu, there's a couple things to point out here. The first one is our live support. This is going to link you to our 24/7 live chat support, where a real person is always going to answer your chat anytime, day or night. And then the help tab here, if you click into it, it's going to take you to our help and support center, where we have a vast library of support articles for troubleshooting, frequently asked questions, anything you need, you can probably find it here. And you can also use the search bar to search specifically for what you're looking for. And then if you do scroll down to the very bottom of this page, you'll see in this little red bar here, our extended phone support hours for the start of the semester, as well as our phone number is down here on the bottom right, and then another link to our live chat. So with that being said, I'm going to close that page out and let's return to our dashboard. And we're going to look specifically at college algebra today. So like I mentioned, you have your mini to-do list here where you can click on any assignment to get started. Or if you click into this blue view course button, you're going to see a comprehensive to-do list with all of the assignments for the whole semester. So these are going to be your homework lessons, your online quizzes or tests, and even offline like pencil and paper assignments can be stored here as well. And then over on the right, you'll see when each assignment is due. Now, the to-do list is organized into these default headers of due today, due within a week, and due later, but those are customizable by your instructor. So just a heads up there, it might look a little bit different, but for every course, you're going to have a to-do list here where you can click on a lesson to start working. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first lesson here, which is lesson 1.3, properties of exponents. So when you click on a lesson, it's going to take you to our lesson landing page. Now you'll see right away that our unique approach has these 3 steps of learning, and this is going to be consistent across every product. So no matter if it's math or English or psychology, it's always going to look the same. So it's simple, intuitive, and easy to follow, this progression from learning to practicing to certifying. Now, learn and practice are designed to prepare you for Certify, and Certify is that graded homework component. So that's where you're actually getting credits for your homework, is this 3rd step here in Certify. So I'm going to walk you through each one of these steps and just talk for a minute about what you can find within each mode. So of course, we're going to start with learn. So if we click on learn here, you're going to see that learn is a multimedia presentation of the ebook content with interactive examples added in. So learn is where you're going to find all of the instructional content for this lesson. So rules, properties, definitions, concepts, examples, all of that is here in the learn mode. And you can navigate through it by clicking on these arrows, the next and the previous arrow. And I said it's multimedia because we do have videos. If you click on the watch button up here in the top left, you'll see that for each lesson, we do have a lesson level video, which is going to show up first. This is kind of an introductory video that covers the key concepts and big ideas from the lesson. If it was me, I would probably use the introductory video or the lesson level video to start my learning process with this lesson. I'd probably watch the video first and then dive into the rest of the learn screens, maybe return to this video later for review. And then you'll also see down here at the bottom, we have a number of example level videos as well. And in the example level videos, you'll see instructors working through the exact problem that is in the textbook. So it's a good way to maybe follow along on your own piece of paper and solve the problem alongside the instructor to sort of like start to get the feel for how to solve that type of problem. And now the example level videos are also embedded into the learn screen pages, which I'll show you in just a second, but we do put them all up here under the watch buttons. You can watch all the videos at one time if you like to do that. So then from here, I'll show you what a couple of the other learn screens look like. So you'll see all the ebook content here, you'll read it, and then you can click on to the next page. You'll come across our example level videos like I just showed you. So this one is embedded into the learn screen. We have the video here, and then we have it worked out step by step here. And if we go on to the next page, here you're going to see one of the ways your instructor can customize the learn screen content for you. So up here at the top, you'll see the ebook content, and then down below, this is a learn screen note. So this part was added by your instructor. So your instructor can add a note, embed a video or a photo, or just draw your attention to something, maybe that might be on the test. They can just really add their own custom content on any page. So I encourage you to pay extra attention to those parts. It's always going to be on the bottom half of the screen there. And if you scroll up right above the watch button, we have this pages button here. This is kind of your navigation menu where you can jump to any part of the learn mode. And you can also easily see which pages have notes added by your instructor, because they'll have this little note right there. All right. So that is the learn mode. And if you were to click all the way through to the end, it would take you right into practice mode. But I'm going to exit learn. And so now we can move on into practice, which is our second step. Now, this is where you go to, of course, practice problems and receive feedback before you move on to your graded homework. So what I always like to point out to students here is the question types that you see in practice are the same question types you're going to see in Certify on your graded homework. So every question type you see in practice will be in Certify. The only difference is that it's going to have different values, different numbers, and the questions will be in a different order. So it really is to your advantage to practice and take advantage of your resources here so that when you get to that graded homework, you know what to do. So the other main difference in practice mode is that here we provide you with a lot of learning aids to help you work through the problems. So one of the things you can do is use the skip button down here to kind of, if there's one type of question you're already comfortable with, you can just hit skip and it will show you a new type of question. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the type of feedback that you can receive in practice mode if you make a mistake. So I'm going to intentionally put in an incorrect answer here to show you the kind of feedback that the system will give you. So I'm going to put X and I'm going to use my little keypad up here to use the exponent button. So there we go. All right, so we can see that my answer is incorrect. Of course, any homework system is going to tell you if you're right or wrong, but our system doesn't just tell you you're wrong, figure out why. If we click explain error, it's actually going to diagnose my mistake to show me why I got the question wrong and teach me how to fix that mistake right as it's happening so I don't get the incorrect method cemented in my brain. So you'll see it says the answer you submitted is incorrect. It appears you multiplied the exponents instead of adding, as indicated by the following property of exponents. You may wish to check your work or review the properties of exponents. So now I know exactly what I did wrong. I multiplied instead of adding, so I know how to better tackle this question in the future. So what I can now do is go back to practice. And then I can hit try similar to get a different version of this question and keep practicing this concept until I feel comfortable with it. So every question has dozens of versions. So it's a pretty extensive set of practice problems that you have to work with. Another thing to point out is this send to instructor button here. This is a choice for your instructor to enable or not. If your instructor does have it enabled, if you click that button, it will open up an email with to your professor where it will screenshot the problem you're working on. So you can ask your instructor a specific question about a problem you're working with. And then lastly, let's say I skipped another couple questions. This one looks a little bit tricky. I'm not sure exactly where to get started. Another thing I can do is go down to this orange tutor button in the bottom left. And if I click on tutor, it's going to show me a step-by-step breakdown of the exact problem. So it'll prompt me to solve the problem one step at a time. So maybe I just need help with the first step and then I'm good to go. Or I can click over here to solution and view the full worked out solution to this exact problem. Or I could even click on learn and it will take me back to the learn mode where I can review the content one more time. If maybe I skip through it too quickly or I just need to review, you have access to that instructional content right here within practice mode. So now we're going to jump back to practice. And those are all the features I wanted to show you in practice mode. So we're actually going to exit out of practice and move on to our third and final step, which is Certify. So if we click into Certify here, like I said, Certify is your graded homework component to this lesson. This is where you're getting credit for the homework. And you'll see right away, it looks a lot like practice. This is the same question type that we were just looking at in practice mode. But there's a couple key differences here. So one thing that might be different from homework that you've done before is that here in this mode, we do not give you any access to those learning aids that you had in practice. So if you've ever had an experience of feeling like you understand the homework, but then maybe you get to the test and you're kind of thrown for a loop, that's what we're trying to prevent. I know that's happened to me. We don't want you to become too reliant on the learning aids. We really want you to prove to yourself and your professor that you understand the content before you get to the quiz or to the test, because that's going to reduce test anxiety and just give you more confidence. So we know we're holding you to a higher standard here and making you complete your homework without access to the learn mode, to tutor, to step-by-step instructions, anything like that. So we do take a mastery approach. So what this means is you have a set number of questions for the lesson, which for this one is 15 questions. And then up here in the top right in this orange heart, you're going to see the number of questions that you are allowed to miss and still get full credit for the assignment. So in this case, I can miss 3 out of 15 questions and still pass. And by pass, I mean you get a 100% for the assignment. So let's say I'm going along and I've missed 3 questions and then I miss a 4th question. What the system is going to do is actually take you out of Certify, put you back into practice mode, and give you a customized set of questions based on what you were missing in Certify. So we offer you this kind of targeted remediation that helps you really focus in on just those skills that you're missing. And when you're working on that further set of practice questions, you have your learning aids available. So you have tutor, explain error, the step-by-step, all of that is available as you're learning the content. And then whenever you feel like you're ready, you can jump back into Certify and make another attempt. So another thing to really highlight here is you have unlimited attempts in Certify with no penalty as long as it's before the due date. Your instructor may have a late penalty in place that could affect your score if you complete it late, but as long as you're before the due date, you can try Certify as many times as you need. So you go back to practice, jump back into Certify over and over, and you'll receive 100% credit for reaching that mastery level, whether it's the first try or the 10th try. So every time you sit down to work on a lesson, you know you have the chance to succeed and get that full credit. Really, our thought process here is this is homework and it's the time to identify and correct your mistakes. So we don't want to penalize you for making those mistakes during the learning process. We just want to make sure that you're actually proving that you've truly learned, no matter how many tries it takes, it doesn't matter, but you have to prove that you've truly learned to receive that credit. So you can't give up or guess, you do have to truly master the content, but you have unlimited attempts to do so, with the end goal of being that you understand the concepts on your own so that you are prepared to succeed on a quiz or a test or whatever the higher stakes assignment may be. So that being said, I'm going to jump out of Certify. There's one other thing I want to show you before we finish today, which is if we go back to the course homepage and then click not on to-do list, but over to web tests and then practice web test. The practice web test is a customizable resource to help you prepare for your quizzes or tests. You can click create and then choose which chapters you want to pull questions from. You can even designate a number of questions that you want on your practice test and set a time limit if you really want to mimic those testing conditions. And then you'll hit start, it'll generate your test for you. And once you complete the practice test, you'll see a results page where you can review your incorrect answers. Every incorrect answer will have that explain error feedback to help you understand your mistake. And you'll also see a breakdown of your performance by lesson so that you can really have a targeted study plan for yourself. All right, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you in the student platform. So I'm gonna stop sharing and then see if there were any questions. If y'all do have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the Q&A real quick. I'll give it just a minute. I hope this was helpful for y'all. I know classes are getting started this week for some people. It can be stressful. All right. I'm not seeing any questions come through. All right. So if we don't have any questions, I will go ahead and wrap up. So I really hope this overview was helpful for you in getting started with Hawks this term. And if you ever do need anything, I showed you guys where to find our chat line and our phone line on our website. So please don't hesitate to give us a chat or a call if you ever need anything. And good luck with the semester. Bye, guys.